Good morning, students. Let's see the continuity of D block elements. D block elements. In that second general characteristics of properties. In that second property, alloys of transition metals. Alloys of transition metals. That is the second property of transition elements. So, alloys of transition metals. Okay. Transition metals form alloys. Transition metals forms alloys due to similar size of transition metals. Why transition metals shows alloys? Almost transition elements have nearly same size, and that is the factor why transition element shows alloys. Okay. Alloys means combination of two or more metals or metals and non-metals like carbon. Simply, alloy is a combination of two or more metals or metals and non-metals. Okay, metals and non-metals combination is called as alloys. Okay. Alloys may be solid, may be homogeneous solid solutions, may be homogeneous solid solutions. Solid solution means solvent must solid. Solution means solute and solvent we have. Okay, students, in that solvent must be solid in state, then that solution is called as solid solutions. Solid solution in which atoms of an element distributed randomly atoms of another element is called here crystal lattice of another element. Remember this, both are same. Atoms of another element or crystal lattice of another element is called alloy. So the meaning of this definition is here. Suppose this is one transition metal. Suppose we take one metal. In that, these are the atoms of these are the atoms of that element. These are the atoms of a particular element. All are atoms of an element. Okay. Now another atoms of elements exist in between the atoms of one element. Okay, this is atom of an element. This is atom of another element. Let's see. So we have atoms of elements and we insert atoms of another elements in the first element. Okay. Now this arrangement is called as alloy. Here two elements are combined, am I right? This phenomena is called as alloy, and crystal lattice means the arrangement of particles in this manner is called as crystal lattice. These are the lattice points. Okay, crystal lattice means the arrangement of particles in the crystal. Suppose a metal is a crystal. Now one metal having points like this is metallic crystal. Now in that crystal we add another atoms of elements. Now this becomes as alloy. Okay. Originally initial atoms of element having different properties. Okay. That means malleability, ductility. Listen once again. Suppose this is copper. These are all copper atoms and this is copper element. Okay. Now in that copper element, this copper having some properties like ductile, malleability, color property, and toughness or hardness, tensile strength, okay, and resistance to corrosion. These are atoms of, this is copper element, entirely copper element. These are all copper atoms. Now this arrangement is called as crystal lattice, and these are called as lattice points or atoms. Okay. Now copper having some properties here. Ductile means ring like structure, malleability means that can make as thin sheet, and it has some hardness, and tensile strength means strong, and resistance to corrosion, that means it can prevent the corrosive nature. Okay, so it has some original properties. But when we add another element, suppose like aluminium, suppose this is aluminum atoms. In the crystal lattice we add another atoms of elements. This is suppose aluminium atom of aluminium element in the crystal. In the crystal we add aluminum atoms. Now it is the alloy of, now this is the entire structure of alloy of copper plus aluminium. Copper plus aluminium. Suppose here copper is 95%, aluminum is 5%, then we call it is rolled gold. Rolled gold or artificial jewelry. We call it is clear, rolled gold. This is called alloy. Due to the formation of alloy, then what happened? Its malleability nature increases, ductility nature is increases, toughness or hardness may be increases, tensile strength increases, and resistance of corrosion is also maybe increases. Am I right? Clear? Why we should need to form alloys? So originally copper having some properties. If you want to improve that properties, we add some another elements, then it become as alloy. Due to that alloy formation, what happened? Their malleability nature increases, ductility nature increases, corrosive nature decreases. That means less corrosion. Iron is more corrosion, am I right? So less corrosive nature increases. Clear? That means we prevent the corrosion. So their properties are developed due to the formation of alloy. Why? What is the advantage of formation of alloys? Means their properties of metals developed. Okay. So copper properties developed by the addition of aluminium. Okay. Now did you get about crystal lattice? Crystal lattice means without aluminium here there is an arrangement of copper atoms, that is called crystal lattice. Then copper atoms are called crystal lattice points or atoms. Okay. Now when we add into that crystal lattice of another element, okay, solvent in which atoms of element distributed randomly, atoms of another elements, where crystal lattice of another element means copper here, copper. Okay, here another element means aluminium, suppose aluminium in the crystal lattice of copper. Okay, so alloys may be homogeneous solid solution. That means homogeneous means the two particles are maximum distributed uniformly. So water, milk, how they can distribute? Uniformly distributed. Sand in water, heterogeneous solution, not distributed uniformly. Okay, uniform distribution means it gives solution. So water, milk in water, the particles of milk and water uniformly distributed. We can't differentiate properly. Okay, so it is solution. Solid, homogeneous solid solution means, homogeneous means it can appear as one solution only, in that particles are well distributed. And solid solution means in that solution solvent is solid. Okay, clear? So this is the definition for alloy. And crystal lattice means copper is lattice. Here we add another atoms of elements from aluminium, then it becomes alloy. Okay, clear? So what happened by the formation of alloy? Their properties are developed. So that means more malleability nature or more ductility nature, more shiny nature improve. Okay. We can prevent the corrosion of iron also. Alloys are formed to modify properties of metals like ductility, malleability, resistance to corrosion, tensile strength, color, etc. By the formation of alloy, these properties of a metal improved. Okay. Alloys are prepared by quenching. Quenching is a method to preparation of alloys. Quenching, reduction method. You just remember these methods. Reduction methods, compression method. How to prepare alloys? By these method we have to prepare. Okay. Melting a mixture of components. And spontaneous electrolytic deposition of metals. Electrolytic methods we have. Okay, these are the methods which are useful to preparation of alloys. Okay. And the next one, alloys consist mercury are called amalgams. Alloys consist mercury, what we call it is amalgams bit. Let's see the example. ZnHg, zinc amalgam. Okay. Sodium amalgam. Okay. Aluminium amalgam. Okay. Clear? So these are not here. Oxidation state of metal in amalgam is 0. Remember this, very very important. And for mercury also oxidation state 0 here. Suppose in the case of ZnHg, what is the oxidation state of zinc? 0. What about mercury? 0. Here sodium 0, mercury 0, aluminium 0. Remember this, very very important. Why? And it's clear. The reason amalgam is a is not a compound, not a compound, it is only mixer, only mixer. There is not complete chemical reaction takes place. There is no chemical combination. That means no chemical combination between metal and mercury. They just act as mixer only individually. Okay. So in that phenomena, their oxidation state is taken as 0. Remember this point. And so very important point regarding this: iron, platinum, tungsten, and tantalum, Ta, does not form amalgam with mercury. Does not form amalgams. That means platinum Hg is not possible, iron Hg is not possible, tantalum Hg is not possible, tungsten Hg is also not possible. Reason for this: not very strong interaction or no very strong interaction between these metals and mercury. Okay, with mercury there is no strong interaction, so there is no existence of this kind of amalgams. Okay, remember this bit, direct AMSAT JE bit, this one. Okay, and oxidation state is AMSAT related bit. Keep that in your mind. Amalgams means a metal with mercury, we call it is amalgam. Remember this. Oxidation state of metal is 0. Why? Because there is no complete chemical combination here. They are just as mixer only. Mixer means no chemical interaction. So this is just introduction about alloys. Types of alloys here we have. Types of alloys. Types of alloys. We have two types of alloys here. Ferrous alloys. That means alloys consist iron, and second one is non-ferrous alloys. That means absence of iron in the alloy. Clear? Okay. Today we will discuss about this one. Okay. Ferrous of alloys. That means that alloys consist iron. It must. Okay. Before going to discuss about ferrous alloys, we have to discuss two types of carbons iron here. One is wrought iron and another one is cast iron. Cast iron. It is soft iron. Soft iron. It is very hard. Very hard iron. Okay. Listen. It is soft, okay, and it is elastic and hardness, elastic in nature. It is hard and brittle nature, brittle, easy to break, and composition iron, percentage of iron is 99.5 to 99.8% of iron, and carbon percentage is here in this and impurity percent 0.3%. Here it is 0.1 to 0.21% of carbon is present. Very less percentage of carbon. Less percentage of carbon is present here, so it is smooth. This is the composition of wrought iron. Remember this. And what about cast iron here? Here composition of cast iron. Percentage of iron is, how much percentage here we have? 93 percentage to 95% we have, and the carbon percentage here 2.5% to 5% up to, and impure percentage, impure means other elements, impurity percent almost 2%. Okay, when comparing with this, carbon percentage is more, am I right? So more carbon percent is present, so it is brittle in nature. Why? Carbon is a non-metal, brittle in nature. Okay, so very hard, you should remember this. Okay, and it is soft iron, wrought iron, types of irons we have. Okay, remember this. And next, steel is a very important compound. You know very well, steel, it is an alloy. Steel is an alloy of iron plus 2% carbon. This is called steel, remember this. And composition here, composition of steel, remember this. And here it is, iron, percentage of iron 99.5 to 98%. Okay, and percentage of carbon is 2%, means 0.25% to up to 2% we have. This is the composition of steel. Steel is a alloy of iron plus 2% of carbon. That means exactly iron percent 99 to 5% to 98%. Copper percentage is 0.5 to up to 2% we have in this. Okay, so very important, steel. Okay. Types of steel alloys depends upon amount of carbon in the alloy. Depends on amount of carbon, we classify this steel. Okay, based on percentage of carbon in the given alloy, steels can be defined as mid steel. Mid steel is it consists low percentage of carbon, and it is elastic and hardness. It shows the properties like wrought iron, like what I, because carbon percentage is very less, and one more alloy, that is hard steel. High percent of carbon is present. Depends on carbon. Steel can be classified as hard steel and mid steel, and they are very hard and also brittle and like cast iron. They act as like cast iron properties. Okay, these are the two types of steel. One is mid steel and another one is hard steel. Depends on the carbon composition. Okay, so low percentage of carbon is there, but what we call it is, that is clearly mid steel, and hard steel we have in that case high percentage of carbon is present. Okay, so this one is important here. Composition, direct bits. The next topic here, ferrous special steel or alloy steel. Special steel or alloy steel. How to prepare? Steel mixed with, you know already what is steel? Steel mixed with manganese, nickel, cobalt, chromium, tungsten, molybdenum, etc. form special steel or alloy steel. Special steel or alloy steel. This alloy steel shows special properties. Okay, these alloy steel shows special properties. Why? Because different transition metals are added in the steel. Okay, their malleability is high, tensile strength is increases. Okay, ductility increases. Okay, improved. Okay, so remember this. We are going to discuss about alloy steels and special steel here. Then what is alloy steel means? In the steel we add such kind of any one of the these type of transition metals, then it is properties improved and it shows special properties. Okay, so remember this. Now keep the heading. Ferrous alloys and special steel, that is name of special steel or alloy steel. Okay, and metals added to that steel and its properties and uses. This is important. Okay, and its serial number. Okay, iron must be present, ferrous alloys. So serial number 1, Invar steel. This is one type of steel, alloy steel. This Invar steel consists, what type of metal it consists? It consists iron. Okay, 35 to 36% of nickel it consists, and 64% iron it consists, and trace amount of manganese and also carbon. This is the composition of Invar steel, okay, 35 to 36% of nickel and 64% iron. Trace amount means small amount of manganese and nickel is present. Okay, clear? What is its property here? Coefficient of expansion is very small. So this metal is not easily expand by heating or whatever it. So less expand nature it is, this type of alloy. So now what is the use? By using this invar alloy steel, we can prepare measurement tape. How to measure length? Measuring tape. Okay, and also we can prepare pendulums. I think you know very well. These are used in physics also. Pendulum, simple pendulum. So pendulums we can prepare by using these invar alloys. Okay. So now iron is there or not? So it is ferrous alloy. So iron must be present. Remember this. And the second type is nichrome steel. Nichrome steel. It consists nickel, 60% of nickel, 60% nickel, and chromium 15%, 15% chromium and 25% iron. So Ninvar, nichrome both are also example for ferrous alloy. Okay, remember this. So what is the property of this one? It is highly resistance to corrosion. That means prevents the corrosion or rusting. Okay. So by using this nichrome, what we prepared here, okay, in the heating process, in heating of flame stoves and furnaces. Furnaces means it is the equipment to heat or melting the metals. Furnace is nothing but of chamber. So if we add metal in that, we can heat it. That is just like as a chamber. Furnace means. And flame stoves, you know stoves. Okay. So stoves are made by nichrome here. Okay. So it is prevent the resistance. Highly resistant to corrosion. It can prevent the corrosion. Remember this. Okay. These two are also ferrous alloys. And next one, third one is here. Third one, chromo vanadium steel. So what is the composition? 1% chromium, 0.15% vanadium it consists, and rest is iron. The remaining percent is iron is present. Okay. And what is its property? It has good tensile strength. Good tensile strength. You know spring has tensile strength. That means very strong and also elastic. You know that is the property of this compound. And use of this chromo vanadium steel is we can prepare springs, saws, axles. These springs are prepared by using chromovanadium steel. And the next one is manganese steel or alloy steel. Both are same. Okay, it consists 12 to 15% of manganese, rest of is iron. Okay, and what is its property? It is very hard and tough. Tough means strong, tough. And uses, its uses is very important. Helmets we can prepare by using this manganese steel or mangaloy steel. Okay, and one more important use here, rock crushing machinery prepared. So granite, so for cutting the granite we use some blades like prepared by these type of manganese steels. Okay, rock crushing machinery parts are prepared, and helmets also prepared this type of manganese steel. So quality helmets are prepared by this metal we can prepare, that is very safety to travel. Okay, so hard and tough, remember this. And fifth one is next one, so very important, you should need to remember, stainless steel. Okay, stainless steel alloy. What kind of metals it consists here? It is 11.5% chromium and 2% nickel and 0.1 to 0.4% of carbon it consists. Okay, so here chromium is 10.5 or greater than or equal of chromium. 10.5 or more than 10.5 of chromium is need. And what about carbon here? Carbon is carbon percentage of carbon is less than 1.25%. Remember this, important. So is it less than 0.1 to 0.4% of carbon is less than 1.25 or not less than 1.25? Okay, stainless steel. So what is the main use of these stainless, properties of this? And uses are, we can prepare common articles like rods, some orthopedic devices also prepare. And its properties mainly, it's very important, it's resist to corrosion, prevent the corrosion of iron, resist to corrosion of iron by the formation of chromium oxide. That's very important, chromium oxide, which is act as passive layer. Passive layer means, suppose this is the metal, steel metal, that chromium oxide act as a layer. Okay, then that iron further unable to interact with atmosphere water and we can prevent the corrosion. Remember this. Chromium oxide prevents the corrosion of iron here. So it is formed as a layer, chromium oxide layer on the surface of iron. So it can prevent the corrosion of iron, chromium oxide. So here we have the bit. If percentage of chromium is high, suppose corrosion is prevent, corrosion is decreases. Am I right? We prevent the corrosion. So more percentage of chromium is available, it gives good chromium oxide, then we can prevent corrosion of the iron. Remember this, very very important. So then what happened, percentage of chromium is increases, we can prevent the corrosion easily. Okay, so it is more resistance to corrosion. So here passive we word, the word already we use. Passive means here that chromium oxide, suppose this is the iron metal, that chromium is mixed in that iron, then suppose that chromium interact with atmosphere oxygen, it forms chromium oxide as a layer on the surface of this iron metal. Clear? Now this layer prevent the interaction of iron with atmosphere. So this is the iron, on the surface chromium oxide is possible. Am I right? Now this chromium oxide prevent the interaction of iron with atmosphere. So we can decrease the prevention by this type of alloy. Am I right? Clear? Everyone? Clear, student, up to this? So very very important composition here. And the sixth one is tungsten steel. The composition is 14 to 20% tungsten, 3 to 8% chromium we have. Okay, so very hard this is, this property is very hard. Okay, and what is the use of we can prepare high speed tools by using this tungsten steel. Very hot high speed tools we can prepare by using this tungsten. Okay, and next one is, this is very very important, all nickel, aluminum, nickel, cobalt. Okay, in this the composition of iron is 60%, remember the composition, and aluminum is 12%, and nickel is 20%, and cobalt is small o, right? Cobalt is 8%. So what is the property? This property is very important. These are strong magnetic properties. These are strong magnets, act as strong magnets. So by using Alnico, we prepare strong magnets. That magnets are permanent. How can we use this? Making of permanent magnets. Remember this. So by which alloy we can prepare permanent magnets? Alnico. What is the composition of Alnico? Iron 60%, aluminum 12%, nickel 20%, cobalt 8%. Remember this. Okay, important one. And the next one is permalloy or permalloy. It is also steel. Okay, now it consists 21% of iron and 78% of nickel, trace of carbon, okay, and this property, the main property is these are strong magnetized by electric current. In the presence of electricity, these acting very strong magnets. Remember this. In the presence of electricity only. But these alloys lose their magnetic property in the absence of electric current. Remember this, very important. Okay, so use is making of electromagnets. Electromagnets means they depends on only electric current only. So absence of electric current, they doesn't process any kind of magnetic nature. Okay, remember this. So in this stainless steel, all nickel is very important. Invar and nichrome also very important. You should have to practice more time, then you can remember this composition. At least you have to identify in the 4 options. Okay, so very important topic this one. So in this all alloys, iron is present. Remember this. So it is ferrous alloys. And last one you have wrote ferrochrome. Just write it down. Ferrochrome. Ferrochrome. Just write its composition here. Here chromium is 65%. Iron is 35%. Okay. Ferrochrome. Okay, students. Again we will meet on tomorrow. Have a nice day. Write this alloys concept. Tomorrow we will discuss about non-ferrous alloys. Okay. Thank you very much.